if Terry crosses the ball to Lee and headed it but misses, it's a chance created. But if he shoots the cross, if he overshoots the cross, it's not a chance created because you have to get it to the player. No, we get that. We definitely get that. No,
yeah. If you pass me the ball on the halfway line and I shoot, that's a chance created.
Yes,
that's why chance created stats are a load of garbage. Yeah, not that happens often. Yeah, but how many times does somebody square a ball 25 yards out and they shank it 5 yards wide? That's now a chance created. Oh yeah, Mesut Ozil, the assist king. As soon as he took him off free kicks and set pieces, mate, he stopped assisting. So now you've got to look at open play assists.
Well, free kicks and set. Someone tried to do it to Bruno. You can't take free kicks and set pieces away. That's a skill, being good at them. Have you took KDB's?
Terry, corners is a hit and hope. You're hitting it and hoping that what you've worked on the training ground comes through without the other team defensively blocking your run.
But you could argue, hang on, but you could make that argument against everything. You could say that the play that you've worked on in training, a pattern of play that has 30 passes to work the ball into the box, it's a little bit of hit and hope. You've just got to hope that a team falls out of position in one area.
No, but if you're better players and you're playing like Man City versus Bournemouth or Liverpool versus Bournemouth, for example, yeah, pound for pound, Man City and Liverpool are miles clear of Bournemouth. So the chances are Bournemouth have got no hope to win that football match. Like we see the other day, 9-0.
No, I get that. But if you've got a better cross of the ball, if KDB and David Beckham get more assists from their free kicks and corners than Marcus
Rashford. Is that actually a stat, or have you just made that up?
No, listen. I didn't make any of it. I'll put it on the screen.
Me, factually.
You didn't let me finish my sentence because you didn't even know what I was going to say. KDB and hang on, but
I've rattled you so much today.
No, you haven't rattled me at all. You'll agree with me on this. KDB and David Beckham get more assists from corners and free kicks than Marcus Rashford because they're better at crossing the ball, right?
Well, KDB's better at crossing the ball. Beckham was good at crossing the ball, yeah.
So they're more likely to get assists from free kicks.
But then everyone says Trent's good at crossing the ball. Trent put 30 balls in the box and get one assist.
My question, Lee.
No, because you're trying to lead me down a road.
No, I'm not. I'm making a point. No, I'm making a point.
David Beckham and KDB get more assists off their free kicks and set pieces than they do from open play.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't. You didn't listen. You interjected again. Do you agree that they would get more assists?
Let me
finish my sentence, Lee. Lee, you don't hear anything. Would they get more assists from corners and free kicks than Marcus Rashford because they're better at crossing? Do you agree?
Well, no, they take more free kicks than him
because they're better than him. Are they better than Rashford at crossing the ball?
Well, we don't know. We don't see Rashford ever cross the ball, do we?
So, see, this is the point. You don't hit and hope a free kick. The better guys like the KDBs are better at crossing the ball, so they get the ball into the danger area easier. They keep it away from the
Kevin De Bruyne's crosses are mustard, but Kevin De Bruyne also has the power, the accuracy, and the vision, which is why he takes most free kicks or most of the time whipping the ball in a because he's better at doing that than, say, I don't know, Rodri. Yeah,
exactly. But they're not hitting hopes then.
Well, they are hitting hopes. How many times does I like Kevin De Bruyne? I think he's a top footballer. How many times does he not even look up and he just whips it and he knows that he's that good? He can just whip it 1 yard out. It's going to take the goalkeeper out as it's arcing back, and it's going to be a 1 yard out tapping. He's now hoping Sterling's at the back stick for a tapping. It's a hit and hope, Terry.
No, how many times does he do that? Hit and hope. Hit and hope means I'm going to smash the ball up there and pray it finds someone.
Like
KDB is playing the ball accurately and precisely into an area. His cross isn't a hit and hope. Yes, he might hope someone makes it onto the end of the ball.
It's a hope.
No. A hit and hope means you're crossing the ball without any direction. You don't know where it's going to end up. You're just hoping it turns out to land to the right person. KDB and good cross of the ball, the Ward Prowses of this world, Gerrard in his heyday, David Beckham's of this world, that what they do is precise. You don't getting an assist from a corner or a free kick is not a hit and hope. It isn't a fluke, man. Come on, bro.
Okay, at the same time then, how comes Kevin De Bruyne every single set, and I like Kevin De Bruyne. I argued against him with you last week with Bruno. How comes Kevin De Bruyne gives the ball away more times than any player in Europe pretty much every season? If he ain't number one, he's number two with Neymar. yeah, they'd give the ball away more than anyone. Why does Kevin De Bruyne give the ball away so much? Because when you actually watch his passing, yeah, from open play, passing the ball around, yeah, he will 9 times out of 10 make his man, right? Maybe 8 times out of 10. Let's say 80% part. But when he's just whipping a ball back stick, is more likely to give the ball away, isn't he? Because it's less chance of finding his man. Because guess what, Terry? It is a hit and hope.
No,
when he's looking at, when he's looking up,
I disagree.
He's looking around and he's scanning the pitch. He's going to find his man, isn't he?
I think you've got that one wrong for me. It's not a hit and hope. When you're in those areas of the pitch and you're trying to pass a ball to a very small target area so that it doesn't get intercepted by, at times when Man City are playing, at times when Man United are playing, at times when Liverpool are playing, you're crossing the ball or feeding the ball into the box where you might have anywhere between 4 to 8, sometimes even as many as 10 outfield opponents in that box. So you're playing a ball to a very, very, very specific area of that box and of that area and of the right height, the right velocity, the right speed. So of course, you know, you're only going to maybe be accurate 15, 20, 25% of the time. There's not a hit. Okay, look, you can manipulate it as much as you want into a hit and hope, but it isn't a hit and hope. There is precision, there is training, there is an accuracy element to it. However, the point that you originally made is basically that assists from free kicks and corners are basically just like spamming. They're not worth the paper they're written on. But of course they are, because if you're a better crosser of the ball from set pieces, from dead balls, then you're going to create more opportunities for your team from that position. And a player that's good at doing that shouldn't be penalized. The same as someone that's world-class at taking penalties. Yeah, they're not real goals. They're just penalties. Well, that's a nonsense. If someone's a world-class penalty taker that barely misses, that is an attribute and an
but that's a totally different scenario. You're standing in
front
of
a different
one man.
Scenario.
You're whipping a ball into 20 people in a box. You're trying to pull it in the right area, yeah, and you're hoping that your man is going to beat the man that's defending against him, yeah, and he's not going to get blocked off by another man. So it's a hit and hope, a corner and a free kick.
Can I ask you a question, Lee? Can I ask you a question? If I'm able to put the ball into the danger zone, it's almost impossible to defend and goalkeep against. And I'm finding.
How many times does that happen?
Hang on, if you let me just finish, I'm going to say it. If I'm able to do that 4 or 5 times per game, but what my teammates are only meeting that cross because they're bad at timing their runs once every 2 games, that doesn't make my crossing bad, does it?
No, that's not the argument.
Answer my question, but that is my argument. So answer that question, then I'll make
your argument is based on something that I'm not talking. I'm talking about.
But it is. Let me.
Kevin De Bruyne. Let's go back to De Bruyne.
No.
Puts 5 balls in a game.
Lee, I want to move on to another subject. I need to ask you this question. Let me answer my question. If I'm putting the ball into the right areas, but my fellow teammates are not making the right runs to get onto the ball, am I a bad crosser of the ball?
No, but your decision making is poor because now. Yeah, you're whipping a ball in aimlessly when you could have kept possession and maybe
not aimlessly. I'm putting the ball into the right areas, a danger area. If I cross it a little bit deeper or a little bit more narrow, it gets caught by the goalkeeper or cleared by a defender. So I have to put it into the danger zone, which is impossible to defend. If I'm finding the danger zone, but my fellow opponent, my fellow teammates are not meeting the ball, am I a good or a bad crosser?
No, you're a good crosser, Terry. My point, that's not the point. The point is still a hit and hope. If you're only made, you said about 4 minutes ago that some of these players like De Bruyne will only make a pass that turns into a goal. Yeah, from a whipped ball, just constantly spamming balls, they'll make it 10, 15%, you said. Your words. We can rewind this. You said 10, 15%. So if you're whipping balls in and only 10 or 15% of the time, it's actually for a teammate, yeah, then it is a hit and hope. Doesn't matter whether you're good at crossing or not. You can put it on a sixpence every time.
I disagree. I think hit and hope is being very disrespectful to the skill of being able to cross a ball, either in open play or...
I agree. There's not many crosses of the ball that are any good.
Even from open play or from a corner, from my point of view is this. Sometimes you can put a world-class cross into the box, but it's intercepted by brilliant defending as well. That isn't on the crosser. That isn't on the crosser for me. But I've seen a lot of people try and discount people that are good at crossing balls, and it's just one that don't sit right with me. But viewers, you can decide: are good crossers of the ball from corners and free kicks basically lucky when they get an assist, or is it down to a skill? I'd like to get your thoughts and feelings on that. We've got some super chats here. I don't want to miss these. Liverpool City whip it because they've got. they're good at second balls, is what James
So
Mullins says.
basically, they're hitting and hoping that it bounces out and they can pick up the second ball, which cover basically agrees with what I said.
None of you stat check. So why are you even talking about this? Well,
I don't need stats to know Salah's average, mate.
But you have to know stats to win an argument. Love a stat.
No,
do you know what I do love? Do you know what I love though? I've had this.
Again, man.
Do you know
I've
what I
already
do?
put you in the
You know
mud.
what I do love about?
You said he's created loads.
You know what I do like about a lot? We have a guy that comes on that hates stats. But every time he comes on to slag a player off, do you know what he rolls out to like prove they're bad? Stats. It makes me laugh.
Yeah, but Terry, I'll do that to put your argument in the bin, because you said to me he's had loads of big chances created this season, and I'll check the Premier League.
I didn't say big chances. I said he's created lots of chances. And I put the stat up.
No, and then I said how many are big chances, and you said loads.
I felt like he has created a few big chances.
There you go. And this is why Salah gets so much.
So can the eye test be wrong then? You agree to that? The eye test can be wrong.
No. The eye test can be wrong, because if you are sitting there thinking, oh, well, that was a good cross, but it just skimmed off his head. Well, it ain't a good cross then, is it? Because it skimmed off his head. It was too high.
It depends on why it skipped on the person's head. I mean, this is again we're going.
Because it was too high.
Well, it isn't too high if I've mistimed my run.
Well, yeah, but it's still too high. Whether that's your fault or his fault, it was still too high, wasn't it?
If you, yes and no. It depends on who makes the mistake. I'll give you an example. I remember watching football with my dad when I was younger, and there's a couple of times I want to make sure I get the player's name right. I want to say the player was Steven Gerrard, but I was a bit younger watching the game, and Gerrard played a few balls into the channel, and it was to no one. It went out for throws, and I remember laughing, rubbish passes. And my dad looked at me and said, "You stupid son." I was like, "No." He went, "Yes, you are." He went, "Gerrard played the right ball. It's not his fault that the winger didn't have the vision to see that's where he should have run." And I was like, that's a really interesting way of looking at it. Sometimes you will see the more intelligent players play balls into areas where there's no one there, or a player doesn't make a run. That isn't on the player that's lost possession of the ball. And by the way, that's why KDB loses the ball more than a lot of other players. His vision is so good. He'll sometimes play a pass where the striker doesn't see the run.
The striker doesn't even look up half the time, Terry. He's just whipping them in.
Well, he doesn't
because he's been told, whip them to the back stick. Sterling and run
I don't think it's as basic as that. I think it's intuition. I think some people just know. Some people just know when and how. Do you know what? I'm here. I've got the ability to play the ball into that area from here. I'm going to play it. My attackers need to be there. Beckham used to have this ability. He could be just past the halfway line, and he could cross the ball with such whip. He could make it bend in and around the penalty spot. Now, if you're the attacker, you've got to understand, one, Beckham can do it, and two, he can see that vision. So you've got to make those runs. And when Andy Cole and Dwight York learned to do that, that's why there's such a fruitful time under him, because that guy could find you from anywhere, but you had to share the same vision as David Beckham to be able to see that he could pull a pass off from a weird angle.
But then once you've failed at doing that, and that hasn't worked, then surely there needs to be a conversation then, doesn't there? Yeah, because if you're whipping 100 balls into the box, and let's say it's KDB for Sterling last season, and Sterling's only meeting 5 of them, or let's say in your case 10-15%, is only meeting 15 out of 100, then why the fuck do you keep whipping balls in the box then, mate? Yeah, because he ain't there. So why are you wasting possession?
Well, it's interesting though. So this is, again, I've heard it spoken about by professional footballers, and their view is the winger's job is to put the ball there. It's the attacker's, like, to keep doing it. Like the managers will say, we want you putting the ball there. And this was, again, I suppose that's why sometimes I'd love to be the fly on the wall in the dressing room, because you say you've got a winger, and we'll just name him. Say Saka does it for Arsenal, and he's getting to the byline, he's putting the ball across the 6-yard box, but no one's ever there. I would love to hear what Arteta says, whether Arteta says, guys, Saka's doing what we did in training. Why the fuck ain't you making the runs? Or Saka, why are you crossing the ball? We haven't been training for that. Like, I'd love to know which one was in the right. And it might differ between different teams. So we'll see. Per here says the 2 absolute best content creators out there. But at least me and Lee can have a row and it doesn't get nasty. I say that because I'm a left winger. Sorry, I am a left winger. Left wingers are hit and hope. That's why my job is to create, not to actually score. But if the area is open, I'll go for goal, is what Nav says there.
There you go.
If Odegaard gives 3 crosses from a free kick in the next 3 games, you will see the same guy say Odegaard is better than Beckham.
Is he talking about me or you? Because I can't
say that. You definitely won't.
Maybe it's the first time you've been watching, mate. I can't stand him, mate. So he could put 10 out of 10 in, mate. Yeah, I ain't giving him no credit. Can't stand him.